All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rabun County Rag. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Let's see what we got going on. Raven County Rag. 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 It's from an old ham radio operator vernacular. They would call it chewing the rag. They would, I say this every week, but I just want to make sure that people understand why I call it the rag, and that's why. That old ham radio operators would get on a frequency, and this was before telephones were even widely accepted or widely used in the nation. And these guys would cobble together some electronic components, real simple stuff, rudimentary stuff, and they would play with the frequencies, and they would start communicating with guys all over the country, all over the region, depending on the power of their radios and all that stuff. And they would get together and they would exchange information about what was going on in their part of the country. It was mostly old farm boys, young guys, out on the farm in the evening. They didn't have no TV, didn't have no telephones, and they had musical instruments, and uh, Marconi or Tesla had just the blooming uh, discovery of the radio frequencies, and I just took it on. It may have some additional meanings down the road, but right now it's just it's a way for a community to get together and give information and exchange what's going on around them. Which brings me to the point: who are we? uh, Raven County, Raven County Rag, Raven County Rag. We are a community of like minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, protecting our families, community, culture, and environment. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. This is kind of like a clearinghouse that we can get together on Thursday nights. If you want to get together, then we can get together and exchange ideas and what's going on in our community. If someone is in need, we can express that. Maybe get together some people to get out there and work as a team, as a community, to lend a hand to someone who may be in need. That's what community is all about, helping each other. Anyway, anybody got good news this week? Uh, first of all, I'm grateful. Uh, let's see, Bill Barker at the Wolford Baptist Church. I still enjoy your daily moments there that you give, and I appreciate it. I need to stop by and see you, um, and express personally how much I appreciate what you do. That's it's. I mean, to be out there and put out the good news every day. That's quite an endeavor. I'm proud that you do it, and I try and catch it every day. Sometimes I have to make myself go on that old Facebook. I normally don't go on there unless I get a notification, even though it's the only way I really have contact with a couple of people. So, anyway, thank you, Facebook, and thank you, Bill Barker, out there at Wolford Baptist Church. Uh, Hope everybody's had something grateful. Had the grandson over Tuesday night. He was over and visited with us. I didn't get much chance to visit with him. Some on Tuesday night. Uh, I was busy, and then I had to. Man, I got to working on that darn road out there that we got. It's just a small little group of us up here on the hillside, and we got old gravel road on a slope. You know how that is, and the winter rains had washed it out pretty good. And I got out there and spent. I guess I talked about it last week. Spent a few hours, probably 8, 12, 16 hours in total. And then we had that old storm come through here, and I didn't get the ditches set right, and then the water run up out of the ditches and ran right down the middle of the road. So I had to go back out there and do that. And I think I've got the ditches cut in pretty good this time. And now I need to get the old box scrape out there. Ain't hardly enough gravel to build a crown on the darn road, but I'll do what I can. I just, I'm trying to be a good neighbor and get out there and keep that road maintained and keep the cost down from having to farm it out. Got a family up here with young children and well, couple families up here actually. Got a neighbor. I heard she was a single mom. I've not had much communications with her for this reason or the other. And so, you know, get out there and help where you can. And I had one neighbor who called me and told me they appreciated it. And you know what? You don't need to pay me in money. If you give me recognition, just say thank you. That's what I need, that more than money. Money would be nice, but I don't want that from my neighbors. I want to be a neighbor. More important for me to be a neighbor than to try and turn a buck off neighbors. It ain't my style. I understand some people have that style, but it ain't mine. I'm glad the old AC kicked on, man, down here in the man. And the hot water heater, the darn old temperature and pressure relief valve on the hot water heater started leaking. I got an old wool carpet down there. It's a nice carpet. Nobody else likes it, but I like it. It looks like one of them Oriental deals. And I walked across, I got to looking at it, and it's on a stand and it was wet. And I said, what in the world is going on here? And I stepped out on that old carpet with my socked feet. And got soaked. And I said, oh Lord. So I got the old shop back out and tried to dry it out best I could. And then went through the diagnostics procedure, trying to figure out, I didn't know what was looking. I was looking up in the ceiling. I was looking everywhere for a leak. And I said, oh Lord, the tank is leaking. And I was coming down to the office one morning and I heard some dripping, and I ran over there and looked, and it was that temperature pressure release valve dripping water. I said, doggone it. So I don't know if y'all know it, but the process is you get a bucket and put under there and crack that valve open 2 or 3 times to see if there's any debris in it. And that spring was awful loose. That spring might have wore out. I don't know how those things operate. I mean, I know how they operate, but I don't know if that spring had just give out or there was some crud caught in it. And I hoped that he'd fixed it. And I was down in the office writing some scripts for some videos and walked out there, and it overfilled a little bucket or a little coffee can I'd put in there. Doggone it. And so I guess about 3 o'clock yesterday, I was off to the Home Depot and got a new valve and put her in there. And then the neighbor called, and I was laying in bed asleep about 9 o'clock. Neighbor sent out bless her heart, thank you, SW. She gets out there. She manages all of our water utility for us. We're on a cistern and pump system and all that, and it's gravity fed, like a mini municipal. And there's 5 houses on it. And she contacted me, or contacted the group in a group message. I was already asleep. My wife comes in there. She says, hey, woke me up. And I said, yeah. She goes, you's working on our water, nothing else, right? And I said, yeah, I was just working on our water. She says, well, they said the pumps went out. That's probably that storm that washed out that road. I spent a whole day on Tuesday, or half a day on Tuesday, trying to get squared back out. And it was the power was out. And so they got that squared away. So we had that and that and that. It's all squared away now. I hope. I haven't put the carpet back yet or put the vacuum away in case there's an emergency. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning when I get back from doing my daily routine. I don't know. I probably told y'all before, I try and go for a hike 3 days a week and get some exercise in. So anyway, that brings us up to that. I'm grateful I got that water fixed. I'm grateful that I got that driveway done. I'm grateful for all those things, and I still had the time to finish my normal workload. So that's good. And I wasn't under any pressure, just handled it and got it done. And I've got to say it was related to some of the stuff I was doing videos this week on mindset and how you let things keep you away from a good mindset, which robs you of potential. And so I put those things to exercise, and I'm really grateful that I had those to help me exercise that, keeping a positive mindset. I see this little gathering they have, 1,000,000 Cup something or another here, and they say it's for entrepreneurs. And I'm kind of a suspicious fellows. If y'all know anything about that, hit me up. Give me a comment on that. They say it's for entrepreneurs and all that stuff. Had to get my coffee, and I've been talking about it since I started this live stream on Thursday nights at 6 about how we need clothing and shoe manufacturers in this country again. And I think our area of the country would be a good place to do some of that kind of stuff. I really do. We used to do it a long time ago. I'd like to see it come back. It may not be high-end finance jobs, but it would provide a comfortable living for the people in the community, regular work schedules and that kind of stuff. And, cotton used to be king here in the South, and I'm sure it could be king again if we put our mind to it. Instead of bundling it up and shipping it all over the world, we bundle it up and ship it right up here to Northeast Georgia. And we'll spin it out and make blue jeans out of it, make shirts out of it, make whatever we need to make out of it. And then making some shoes. I went to the Wally World. I was amazed at two things concerning footwear. Number one, it all came from Indonesia or China or someplace other than here. Then I'm sure it had to go on a boat. And I got to thinking about that. And I'm sure them people over there need the work, but I'm not sure that they're getting paid fairly for the price we have to pay here. And number two, I wasn't real impressed with the construction of what they were selling out there. And listen, I've had a lot of opportunities to work with people in the field, and I see them buying them shoes out of the Wally World. And I seen them old boys walk out of them shoes in just a matter of a month or two. They're so, everybody's saving. When you're running a business, it's the darn stockholders who matters the most. It ain't about putting out a quality product that can be durable and long lasting. They want to sell as much of that stuff as quick as they can. If that means lowering the quality standards, in my opinion, you pay $100 for a pair of boots and get something that'll last you a couple years versus paying $30 or $40 for a pair of boots every 2 or 3 months or twice or 3 times a year. That's just my opinion. Y'all tell me what you think. Another thing we've been talking about is, all right. Talking about, and I've got some notes here, and I'm trying to be better and better prepared. And I'd like to thank my assistants, Plurifora. Thank you. She does a lot of work for me. She helps me out with my video scripts. She helps me out with doing research. It really lightens the workload, makes my job easier. And so I appreciate what she has done or does for me. All right, let's go with the Darnell shooting range. Anybody thought anything more about that? It's it's an opportunity here. We've got a shooting range right here in the county, up in the public lands, where you can zero your rifle up to 100 yards. I think I've read. It's public land. It's in Rabun County, but the road is shot out on it. I couldn't get up in my pickup truck. The son-in-law, I told him, I said, road ain't no accounting. you know, him being from around here and being an old country boy, he thought he could get by, and he went up there and discovered he couldn't get up there either. So that's one of the things I'd like to see us take care of. If anybody's interested in getting together and forming a little consortium to get together and see if we can get up there and make that road passable, uh, or take a ride up there and tell me what you think. I'd like to help you. It'd be a great thing in the community. Go up there and sight your rifles, you know, sight your bows and arrows. Um, Deer season will be upon us before you know it. Uh, it looks like we got deer season coming up in what, September? Somebody help me out. So what, 8 more weeks, 10 more weeks, we'll be in the old bow season. I'm trying to look here. All right. Yep. Mid-July. We talk about bears, you know. Let me start to the top here. I just want to make sure I'm covering some of that stuff. Oh, Lord. Y'all, slow. Give me a minute. All right. Yep. Archery season coming up. And guys ready? Anybody? It's mid-July, and you know what that means. Georgia archery season is sneaking up on us like a buck on a foggy morning. Thank you, Philifora. I appreciate that little comment. This year, bow season kicks off, I believe it's September 14th. And now's the time to start scouting your spots. Check your trail cams. Dust off that compound or longbow. Anybody out there hunt with a longbow? I think that's rather cool. I got an old Target longbow down here. I hadn't shot that thing in years. Old fiberglass. Big Bear, I think it's called. Big Bear, Little Bear. I don't know. It's old fiberglass one. They used to use them in high school years ago. I'll tell you the story about that sometime. It goes along with that story I told about the village idiot and the wiffle golf ball story. It's I got those at the same time I got all them wiffle golf balls and clubs. If you want to hear that again, let me know. I'm sure but back to the deer hunting, I'm sure the velvet bucks are on the move in the early mornings and the late evenings. Heck, I was coming down the road the other day and there's a doe standing in the front yard, right down the street here. It's just, I guess they're going for them mushrooms or something that's growing in the grass. I couldn't really tell. That's the only thing it could have been, because the grass wasn't that tall. It couldn't have been any kind of grain or anything they were after. So I'm figuring they were going. If she might have found some of them. What do you call them? Psilocybin mushrooms. Because she kind of watched me as I went by, had a funny look in her face. She might have got a hold of them, got a habit. I don't know. And she just looked at me. I said, "That's a strange deer." And but I've seen them out there in the middle of the day. Funny how they turn nocturnal in the wintertime when you're hunting them, and they're not. They're what do you call? What's the opposite of nocturnal? When you're out in the daytime, they turn to daytime dwellers in the summer when you ain't hunting them. But they're on the move early in the morning, patterning food sources, looking for them muscadine, soybean, white oaks, and the food sources. I seen no muscadine. I need to go out here and check my bush. I didn't normally do that. The blackberries is finishing up. And I'm sure the old acorns are starting to put on real heavy for the next couple months till they get ready to start dropping. Yeah, if you're on private land, start looking for edges of fields and young clear cuts. That's where they're staging. And hey, don't forget to double check your broadheads and refletch those arrows. A clean, ethical shot is a matter of preparation, not luck. Tag me if you're sighting in this weekend. We'll shout out to some local sharpshooters next week. We'll get this be another time to get that darn nail shooting range in order. Boy, it'd be nice to have some long range shooting, get them bows, check them bows, and anyway, bears, do's and don'ts, guys. Look out for them old bears. Keep your food sources out of the way. Don't leave no garbage cans out where they can find them. They're looking for an easy hit. They're looking for an easy meal. I'll turn the gain up on this microphone a little bit. Y'all bear with me a minute. Let's see if I can hit the right one. I don't want to start clipping. How's that? Any better? All right. I can't ever get this thing right. I'm still trying to learn all this stuff. Hope I'm not too. If somebody thinks I'm too loud or too agitating on the volume, let me know. Or I'll fix it. Same way with video. Let me know if I'm getting through to you. You gotta remember, I'm on the old satellite, and sometimes it's a damn sight better than that kinetic or Windstream or any of these other things. But sometimes it'll lag out and slow down on me, and it'll show me not getting out real well. So if y'all see any buffering on your end, let me know, just so I can report back to Starlink and tell them how happy I am or I ain't with their service. So far, I can't complain. I do let them know that, that sometimes it does slow down when I'm doing Zoom calls or doing live streaming. I let them know that. Not that I'm angry or anything. It's just that sometimes it's better than others. Anyway, that's where we're at. Them old crazy bears. And I read on the Facebook sometime this week. I never read that thing unless I get a notification. There's a couple of fools I'd like to call out. Now there's a woman up on Screamer Mountain, I think she said. Screamer Mountain. She had some guys delivering some stuff, and somebody who lived up the road was wanting to get by, and they kind of had the roadblock. And old boy got all upset, was beating on his horn and screaming at them. I made a comment. I said, call them out, find out who they are. That's what we need in this world today. We need a few more people calling out these people acting like a fool. That's good for society. You start calling them out as a community, they'll quit that behavior. I guarantee you. They pretty big when they got pretty big britches when it's one-on-one or there's somebody who they perceive weaker than them. They'll run that mouth. They'll get to, showing their butts. Well, you call them out, find out who they are. Slander. I ain't gonna worry about no dadgum slander. If they acting a fool, they acting a fool. If 2 or 3 people see them acting a fool, that ain't slander. That's a fact. So, if don't be rude to your neighbors. Have a little. I know we're all busy, but doggone, instead of beating on that horn, burning all that energy and anger, you could have got out and maybe helped them. That way you'd have burned off some energy and got moving a lot quicker. Why don't you think about that? Now, I'm not saying this person acts like that all the time. Just act like it this time. Enough to upset this person. Yeah, I think it was a lady. Yeah, I don't know if she's an old lady, young lady, or whatever. But call them out. Call them out. Another one. Visitors in the national forest. Now, we talk about this all the time. We love you visitors. We want you to come. We want you to enjoy the fresh air and the cooler weather and the cool, clean water that we have here, and enjoy our campgrounds in the community in our county. Even if it's in the national forest, we want you to come and enjoy it. But this person took all their trash from camping over the weekend, throwed it in the fire ring, set it on fire, and drove off. think about that. Plastic, garbage bag, plastic, all their trash from camping, and throwed it in the fire ring, started the fire, and left. Went home. That, number one, burning your trash like that. Don't be bringing no trash up here. If you are, take it back with you. Don't be burning it. Because now that fire pit, somebody go to cook food in it, it's got burned plastic and everything else in it. That's real polite. You know that? Those fire rings got grates on them for cooking. And now you throwed that trash in there and lit it on fire. And no telling how long it'd take to burn all them hydrocarbons out of that pit. So it's some kid might get their hamburger cooked on that after that junk you throwed in there set on fire. You a dang, I'm going to leave it at that. And then you drove off with a live fire? Are you kidding me? We live in a forest. You catch that forest on fire, you have ruined the summer for a whole bunch of folks, and you've demanded resources that are in short supply. You put people at risk. What in the world is the matter with you? If y'all see somebody doing that, call them out. Get their number. Call the USDA. Call the sheriff. Call everybody you can. Let your neighbors know, like this lady did on Facebook. And let's call these people out. And if they have to pay some kind of compensate for the foolishness they did, then so be it. That's so be it. Let them pay for it. Crazy, man. Yeah, treat our dang place like it's a trash heap. I don't know what their own house look like. Makes me wonder. Come up here and treat our national forest like that. Anyway, let's try and move on to something more pleasant. We're talking about the old deer hunting. All right. I was Plurifora. She made this note here about War Woman Dale. I've been there several times. It's a nice place. I've taken some hikes in there. It's a nice place. And I kind of knew some history. I knew it was related to the Indians or something like that. But just outside Clayton lies War Woman Dale, a lush green pocket of Raven County with a name as wild and mysterious as the mountains themselves. Legend has it that the name came from a Cherokee woman called Nancy Ward, a beloved leader and peacekeeper. She held the title War Woman, which wasn't about starting fights. It was about courage, vision, and protecting her people. This area was once part of a Cherokee trading route, and some say it was a hidden passage for Cherokee scouts and warriors long before European settlers moved through. Next time you're hiking through that area, stop and listen. The trees might be whispering stories older than the state of Georgia itself. They used to have councils there. I think I read that they used to have councils, war councils, peace councils, where they would, several tribes of the Cherokee Nation would come together there and discuss business. They were a culture, they were a community. They fought amongst each other and they took care of each other. So it was quite a thing. Other than that, we got to talk about the community. We talked about them old litter bugs, them old burn bugs. Let's see. Fire bugs. We talked about rude behavior. I tell you what, man, I read the newspaper trying to garnish something interesting to talk about. Wasn't much in there. You could tell who's writing that paper and who's got influence on it by reading it. And I kind of opposed it and opposed to what some of them are saying quite a bit. They have the right to state it, and I guess that paper has a right. Maybe there ain't enough people of that opposing type that's sending in information. I did read that them two Democratic senators we got in the state of Georgia, Warnock and Ossoff, or whatever in the heck his name is. Them old boys got a pocket full of money. I guess they getting big support. I don't know where they're probably getting it from them GMOs, some kind of independent government agents, that's been in the news so much lately, like USAID. They're probably getting some. That old Stacey Abrams, can you believe that old junkie woman? Got $2 billion from some outfit she set up, opened a bank account with $200, and then all of a sudden got $2 billion from the Bidens as he was leaving office, and just stroke of the pen, gave her money out of some kind of slush fund. I guess she thought she'd go run for the state. Now she's all tangled up and all kinds of stuff. Good. No matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, if you messing around and you trying to skim off the backs of the taxpayers, I hope they catch you. I'm looking out for you too, man. It's a darn shame. Old people can't hardly afford to. Now, I'm not talking, most Americans mismanage their finances anyway. Don't even know they're getting robbed. But those of us who are keeping an eye out for it and know the value of our labor and don't like the idea of it being stripped away so easily out of ignorance or out of thievery. I can get you going on that all day long. And it kind of brings me to the next subject. Rabun County, it's more than scenery. It's got a long tradition of people up here who are self-reliant. But as land values go up and big city politics trickle down, it's the small farms and homesteads and family woods that get squeezed. They raise the taxes. I just got my tax bill, and kind of upset me, and I'm still upset about it. Just take my home value and raise it by 50% or better in 1 year, and the county taxes expanded by 20% in 1 year. A 20% tax increase? Are you kidding me? This county needs 20% more this year than they needed last year? What's that going for? You're going to put in some benefit for the people who live here? I live up here on a hill with 5 people. I know what my taxes are, and I ain't seen a county official up here one time. I ain't seen a piece of county equipment. We ain't got no county water. We barely got electricity. And I know that's not a county issue, but why am I way up here and I get no benefit and get taxed at that rate? Why? What are they doing? What are they doing with that money? Where's it going? What, the county commissioners need their road paved? So they leave me up here in the woods, taking my money and not offering me any return on it? Okay, say there's 5 of us up here and we pay $2,000, $2,500 a year. That's $10,000 a year, and I've been here for 8 years. That's $80,000. I know some of these people been up here longer than that. Ain't no telling how much revenue they have collected off the property owners up here. Some of them working hard, raising families, squeaking by, and they get charged that kind of money and they ain't getting no service, no paved road, no road maintenance. Huh? What? Yeah. What are we getting? Anybody else in the county like that? Anybody else in the county have those kind of feelings? I heard there's quite a stink at the last county commissioners meeting, and they kind of shut everybody off and kind of limited who could speak. What's that make you think? When you in trouble, what are you going? Especially if you think you got some authority, you just shut them up, right? Shut up. We ain't got time. We ain't here to talk about that today. We ain't here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this. We ain't got. It's not on the agenda. You can't talk about it. Okay. All right. So anyway, then the state's got some proposed rezoning efforts in part of northeast Georgia that could affect how the land is used, especially if we're not paying attention. We'd better start paying attention. If not, we're going to be stuck up here and it'd be a tourist town where nobody can afford to live, and it won't be nothing but profiteering going on around here. You can't afford to live here anymore. We don't want to wake up and find our neighbor's pasture turned into a warehouse site or one of them data centers or whatever. So get informed. Let's show up at the town meetings. I'm going to make an effort to get there as often as I can. I'm going to make it a habit to get to these towns. Just start listening and hearing what they're saying and figure out what they're trying to do. I've been talking to my neighbors, but if we don't wake up, the only way to keep Raven County free and wild is we act like stewards and not spectators. Okay. As always, if you know something the rag should report, send it in. Send a message. We'll talk about it. As we grow this channel, as we grow this, it'll be more than just me. There'll be other people who can take over and have things to talk about. Yeah, these old afternoon storms, I guess I'm going back into fishing. With all these afternoon showers, the streams like the Tallulah and Coleman are running high and fast, but don't let it stop you. Get out there. High water brings hungry trout out from under the rocks. Throw something big and bright. I'm thinking woolly boogers. I got some green ones, olive green. I think I got some black ones. I don't have anything real bright. I need to take a look in the old box. Worms, spinners with a little flash of gold. Don't be afraid to fish close into the shore. The fish are hugging them banks and eddies. Probably the best time I need to get up there, I would imagine, is before 9 a.m. or right before dusk is your golden hour. And remember, barbless hooks and wet hands if you're doing catch and release. I don't hardly ever touch them anymore. I just reel them in and bring them up and leave them in the water and take the old phone and snap a picture and reach down there with the hemostats. I got the barbs mashed down and just roll that hook out and let them go. I'd like to see some pictures. You guys out there fishing, send me some pictures, man. I'll post them. I'll try and figure out how to do this thing where I can post pictures that you send me. So if you're listening, you're a fisherman and send me something. I really need to get out there and go. But the thing about it is, I'll be honest with you. I fish in the fall, through the winter, and through the early spring. Come late spring in the summer, I can't deal with the crowds. I can't do it. I didn't move up here to be standing shoulder to shoulder. And I can't do it. So I'll leave that for the tourists, and I'm glad to have them, except for them old firebugs and litter bugs, but anyway, it's thank you again, my lovely assistant. Her name is spelled, and it's Plirofora, and I want to call it Pleophora. That's my assistant's name. She helps me out on some of this stuff. If you scroll through this thing, and I think I posted it on Facebook last week. I really don't want to do that. I want to stick with this platform, and I'd like for people to take the time and visit. I may post this one again. I don't know. I want this to be a live stream, and I don't want to live stream on a multitude of platforms. It's already confusing enough for me. So if you scroll through here and you catch it, we're here every Thursday evening from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock. And I'd love to have you come by and interact with me, and let's talk about some things that you're interested in, because I can guarantee you, if you're interested in any of the stuff that we've listed here, our purpose, I'm interested. So, I did have a shout out. I had a joke. Somebody sent me a joke. It was on another stream, but it was from my wife. She said, my husband said to embrace your mistakes and learn the lessons from them. So I gave my husband a hug. Not sure how I feel. I hope she's learned something. But that's the now we need to come up with a question for the week. Pleophora, what kind of question can we have people answer? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think our county should be. Should it be a tourist definition, a destination? Should it be a quiet community? Should it be a combination of the two? Should we balance our growth so that the citizenry takes the priority over tourism? Yeah, years ago, any of y'all ever been to Dahlonega? Yeah, it's turned into quite a tourist destination. Many years ago, I guess about 1980, I started college at North Georgia College, and I was a cadet. And when I went to school there, the grocery store was a grocery store. The pharmacy, it was a pharmacy. And now, they're tourist places. You go in there and you buy trinkets, and all that stuff. And I don't want that here. I mean, I understand it's important, I guess, and I think there should be a balance of it. But if you're running out I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. I would like to say thank you to those two people who posted about the litter bug and the rude neighbor. I appreciate you posting. Let's call these folks out. We need more civility in this part of the country. So thank you for calling them guys out. Continue to do that. If you see somebody acting a fool, call them out. Call them out. Let everybody know. Everybody know. Start sending me some photos. I had to post some of mine. You know, I go for these hikes, and yeah, I went through my camera roll the other day. I hadn't taken any of the pictures out of the camera and probably over a year. And there was probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 800 pictures on there. And I do a lot of florals and a lot of landscape. But some of the most you could tell what I've been focusing on this past year, and it's been foggy scenes, foggy mountain scenes, foggy lake scenes where there's a fog rolling in, a mist. And I'll have to post some. If y'all want to see them, let me know. Give me a comment. So I'm still scrolling through here. All right. So we talked about the season that's coming up. Oh, bow season. Here's something. Old son-in-law, he's been working a patch down here back at the place, and he was feeding, and then all of a sudden he got 2 wild hogs show up. He said, man, I said, I don't care if you trap them and give them to somebody else. I said, the only thing I will not accept is for them to be killed and thrown in the trash. I said, now, if you know somebody if you know your taxidermist who will cut them up and cut them into, my favorite part of the day. I bet you a junk call. Let's play. I'm glad y'all here. Hello. 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 Anyway, I had one the other day. I let him alone. Boy, he thought he talking about go to the, what did he tell me to go? He said, go to Target and get some cars. I said, Target's 2 hours away, man. He goes, well, go to this and get a car. And I said, there ain't one around here. And he said, go to Walgreens and get one. I said, okay, where I call you back at? About 3 hours later, he's calling me back. Well, man, I had to take a bath. I had to take a shower. I had to shave, and I had to have some. He said, well, you need to go. I said, oh, I'm going. I'm going right now. About 3 hours later, he calls me back and says, man, I had to stop and get gas and went to the post office, and I forgot I was supposed to be going to CVS. He was so mad at me. He called himself William, but it sounded like Habib. You can hear all his buddies in the room there with him trying to jack some other senior citizen or whatever. I said, yeah, whatever. All right. Let me ask you, what kind of bows you going to be hunting with this year, you hunters? You got, I know most of you use compounds, but what's your favorite bow? What kind of bow do you hunt with? How do you target? Do you use a release, or do you use a finger release, or do you use a mechanical release? What's the best? What kind of feeding patterns? You know, I covered it briefly, but tell me what you kind of think about habits. Also, I'd like to talk something about maybe Tallulah Falls Railway or something like that. Learn some history on it. So if y'all know some of that history, and I know they posted on the Facebook, but I'd like to learn it from you guys while we do this right here. And I know that Appalachian folk tales, and if you guys want to hop on, we can set up a Zoom and have guests. If you're Foxfire representative, you're a storyteller and you want to get on here, man, I'd love to have you. I'll set it up. If you got a computer with a camera and all that, we'll do a Zoom or we'll do something and we'll do a guest and you can sit here. And if you're a storyteller who likes to get out there and get, people pay you to come tell stories about some Appalachian folk tales, then that'd be a great opportunity for you to get on here and share some of what you do and some of the stories you tell, and maybe work up a group to go tell your stories to. And I think we got a rodeo coming up this weekend here in Rabun County. Do we or don't we? Or is it already gone? When is the rodeo? And you know what I'd like to see here in the Rabun County, and I know I'm been kind of down on the tourist business and all that stuff, but man, it sure would be nice to have a darn, excuse me, I had to adjust something. A a bluegrass festival. Man, that would be the bomb. Over there on Ramey Avenue, maybe. It's a Ramey Avenue, got an open field on one side of the road and an open field on the other side of the road. They could close that road off and make parking on one side and set up a bandstand on the other side. And you park on one side and sit in the field over there and have some bluegrass bands. I wonder how well that'd work out. If you know anything about that kind of thing, heck, hit me up, man. I'll do what I can to make something like that happen. It's as much complaining I've talked about the taxes and all that, and how they're not really taking care of our allowing the local population to flourish with self-reliance. Self-reliance doesn't work with a highly taxed system. You cannot be self-reliant if you're being taxed out of your home. Self-reliance is where you get out there and you've got land to provide everything that you need. Shelter, food, maybe not the clothing, maybe not the shoes, but you can survive on very little income. And some people want to live that lifestyle. And when you start driving those people out, that's a valuable resources that we lose. How many people today know how to be self-reliant? How many people today know how to walk through the woods in the summer and the winter and find food sources to live through the winter? How many people today know about natural medicines that can be found? And how much of that resource is being destroyed through development? Anyway, from the field to festival, Foxfire culture keeps the spirit alive. That's one thing I'd like to do. I'd like to have somebody from Foxfire get on here and talk about what Foxfire does. I know that they've got the YouTube resource, the Facebook resources, but if they wanted to do a YouTube thing, I would be more. I've got extra equipment. We can set it up. We can have someone sit down and we can go there and we can make regular videos and we can do presentations. It don't have to be on this channel. It could be the Fox. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or not, but they could darn sure have one. And I would do what I could the same way with the Rabun Historical Society. Do they have a program where they record verbal history, oral history of some of the very few old timers that are still left? Wouldn't that be nice to have a record of that? Do they do that? I need to do that. I need to go by there and do that and ask them if they would like to do it. And I don't need money. I need the time. I don't need the money. I think I'll do that. If you think that's a good idea for me to go visit the Foxfire Museum in the Raven County, or send them an email and offer up, help them create a YouTube channel to record history, or to record oral history in an interview format, and post it on the YouTube or post it on the Facebook, and have that as a record of these things that are getting away from us so quickly. I would do that. I would do that. And homesteaders. We've got how many homesteaders we got in the county? How many people still live basically off the land on minimum income? I'd like to meet you, man. I've met a couple of farmers out here, but they were in the money making situation, and I don't mind money making, but I want to talk to people who are basically hunter gatherers. I want to see them and visit with them. I want to know what they do to prepare themselves to survive throughout the winter. How much hard work I know that they've got to do to get prepared to live through the winter, and how they heat their homes, and do they know the basic first aid? What kind of safety plans they have for emergency? I want to know that stuff. And I want this community. I want to protect our children. I want to raise strong kids and help them deal with these modern challenges. I see too many of these young people glued to that screen all day, and man, they're getting beat up with that blue light, and it doesn't do any good for their eyeballs, and then they're not getting enough sunshine and enough exercise, and that concerns me. We look at the obesity epidemic in this country, and I ain't saying that too much. I'm working on mine now. But if I can do it, I think we need to change our kids a little bit and show them what, to get out there in the world. And anyway, please, once we get going, once we get more viewers and more popular, I would set up where we could have multiple people call in and talk about a particular subject in there in the county. And just do that kind of thing. Call-ins. We don't have a local radio station. We don't have a local radio station. And I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. I don't know what it would take, but maybe an old AM station or something we can get a license for. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would support that kind of thing, and I would volunteer to help get that kicked off, so we can. But this is the closest thing. What we're doing right here is the closest thing I could come to that I could think of at this investment level to become like the old local radio station. So that's the objective here. Anyway, we've talked about a lot of things here. We still haven't talked about. We've talked about fishing. But we do need this every time. We've got about 3 minutes left. This is the for sale. I don't have anything for sale anybody wants on here, and I ain't in a position to want to sell anything right now. Once again, Frank Hicks over in Tiger, thank you, man. You set me up with that mulch hay I'd been looking for the longest time. You finally set me up. I need to go call and see if you got some more of that. I need to get me several more bales to put out this winter. Put the garden to bed and all that stuff. I could probably use 5 or 6 or 10 more bales. I need to come see if you got some. I'm still looking for that harrow disc. I want the big ones now. I've seen some of the smaller ones, but I want the big ones. 24? I don't know how big those things come in. I need to do some research. But if you got one that's you've taken off a piece of equipment and you got them laying in a scrap pile on your farm or on your homestead, let me know. I'd like to buy one from you. I want to make me one of them. I want to make a frying pan out of it that I can put on a campfire or a fire here at the house and cook El Campo. Like I said, I've been watching these old boys on the YouTube channel. It's called Route 9, and I believe they're out of Michoacan, in the state of Michoacan, somewhere down there. They're a rural family. They live in in an agricultural area, and they have several places set up on the farm there where they cook El Campo on a fire, and I like some of the I like Mexican food. I like the good Mexican, the homemade stuff, not necessarily what you get. Once you get homemade, this stuff in the restaurants, and I know they're trying to make a buck, and some of them do a bang up job. But boy, when you're in the field with these guys, like I have been in the past, and they're cooking, muy delicioso, muy delicioso. Mm, mm, mm. Anyway, boys and girls, we're running out of time. I show it being 7:01. That means I have run the clock out. Anyway, I want to say to you, as always, have a grateful day. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next Thursday at 6 o'clock. In the interim, if you scroll past this and you see it, send me a comment. Let me know what you think. All right, boys and girls. See you later.